this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be doing a collection video of 2017, and I'm going to be doing systems that I did not do from last year. I'm not going to do like updated versions. I won't do that until maybe sometime later on, but anyways though, so the first one I'm going to be taking a look at is the Sega Dreamcast. So the reason why I'm doing this one first and not any of the other Sega systems is because one, I actually don't have a lot of games for the Dreamcast, and two, I never actually grew up with a Dreamcast. I used to see commercials of it and it looked like a cool system, and also I only knew one person that actually owned a Dreamcast, but I never played on it though. They just kind of told me about it and it was like, yeah, this is actually a pretty great system. I've been playing the shit out of Sonic Adventure, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, unfortunately I never actually played one when it was in its prime. I just kind of found one many years later. I think it was in about 2009 or about there, something around there. And then of course until then I was discovering newer Dreamcast games and wanted to check some out, and well, I do think it is a pretty good system. I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite system of all time for me personally, but I do think it does have some good quality stuff. So with that being said, let's go talk about some games. Alright, so one thing I do want to get out of the way first is that these are not going to be in alphabetical order. These are all just kind of random, so just bear in mind with me with that. So the first one we got here is Sonic Adventure, which, like I said earlier, this is the first game I knew about that you can get on a Dreamcast, and I didn't play this version until way later on. I actually originally played the GameCube version, I rented it back then. And, I really do like this game. I don't think it's, the best Sonic game, but I do think it was pretty good for the time, and also the stages are still really fun. The music is just as amazing. My only real complaint with this game, at least just from looking back on it, is that there's a lot of parts in this game that are really fucking cryptic. It took me such a long time to figure out, how to get to the second stage. Where you had to put that crystal in, that one cave and shit. Back then, I never would have guessed to fucking do that shit, because they didn't tell you jack shit. It was oh yeah, you gotta do this thing, and there you go, just to fucking do it shit. Yeah, so because of that, I do find this game can be a little bit hard to go back to because of that, but otherwise though, I do think the stages are still really fun. And then next up we have is Soul Calibur 1. Which, it was just actually Soul Calibur 2, because, Soul Blade came out first, but, that's a whole other thing there. But, yeah, though, this game is actually pretty awesome, really great fighting game, and it was also a launch game. And, by the way, the Dreamcast actually had a really fucking good launch lineup. Some of the best games you can get on the system were mostly launch lineup games, which is pretty fucking awesome. Just only if, the system would have sold, way better than it did, but, anyways, though, there's not a whole lot that I can say about this game, but it is definitely a classic 3D fighting series, and also it's some of my favorite fighting series of all time, next to Tekken and Virtua Fighter and DOA and all that kind of good stuff. And next up is Monolith X, and this is actually a pretty awesome game. To be quite honest, it's probably one of my many favorite games on the Dreamcast. So for one, it's actually sorta related to Shin Megami Tensei, because it was actually made by the same director, it has the same art style, and also has the same composer too, Shoji Meguro, which is pretty fucking kick-ass stuff. So yeah, this game is pretty much a first-person shooter, although it's more or less of a first-person hack-and-slash because you're mostly using a sword, though you do get guns in it as well when you possess other people's bodies and such. But yeah, pretty much the majority of the game, you're using at least one chick, and she carries this one sword but like I said, the sword can possess other people's bodies and such. And there's a lot of batshit crazy stuff going around. It's a really fun game, though it does get really hard later on though, but man, though, this game is just really all out awesome there. I would highly recommend this game. Although, if you are from the PAL region, there is a PS2 version of it that did come out over there, and it is actually a little bit, has a bit more stuff in it, and you also have a third-person mode, which is pretty cool, too. So, there is that for all the PAL region fans out there. So, the next one we got here is, Evolution, and to be perfectly honest, this is one game that I own that I didn't really put a lot of time into, because this is an RPG, but it's not just a regular one. It's actually a roguelike RPG, but with all regenerated dungeons and such. And whenever you bump into enemies in this game, then it goes into a turn-based battle system, like we're all used to in those style of games. And You know, from what I played of it, it's not bad, but it is a very slow game. I don't know, man. I kind of had a little bit of a hard time getting into this one there, but I did like the music in it, and the characters were kind of cool. Like, I like the fact that you can use, like, an old guy with a sniper rifle. I thought that was pretty awesome, but yeah, unfortunately, I can't say a whole lot about it because I haven't really played, like, a whole lot of this game. So next up we have is Blue Stinger, and this is a pretty interesting survival horror where it doesn't really look like a horror game at first because, like, you pretty much your guy's, like, stuck on an island, like, after, like, a storm thing hits, and, like, of course, then later on you get to see, like, a bunch of dead bodies everywhere, and then there's, like, zombies and plant monsters and other weird, like, types of enemies and stuff trying to kill you. But the one thing that makes this game, like, really hilarious is that the voice acting is so bad, it's good. In fact, the voice of Sonic, from Sonic Adventure, plays your main dude, and the voice of Dr. Eggman played that one pirate dude. I forget his fucking name right now. But yeah, so pretty much you could say in an alternate reality, Sonic and Eggman actually teamed up. Yeah, anyways, though, this one is a pretty interesting game. I wouldn't say it's, like, the best survival horror I ever played, but I think it does have a lot of, like, really good moments in it there. So the next one I got here is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, or what my friend calls it is Turd Strike, because he doesn't like this game very much, and hey, that's okay. Because I can understand why, because this game is, it's a very technical fighter, at least much more so than any of the other Street Fighter games, and, you know, I do like this one. Now, I know back in the day I used to say that, like, this was, like, one of my favorite ones, but now after looking back on it, no, it's not my favorite one ever there, but I think it does have some good stuff going for it. Like, I really love the graphics, I love the music in it. Some of the newer characters are really interesting, like, I really like Q a lot. I don't know why I do, he kind of looks like a mix between Rorschach from Watchmen and, like, the Terminator, it's fucking great. And you got some other weird-ass characters that I do think are pretty fun to use and also are very amusing. But one thing with this game is that this is probably, like, the one Street Fighter game I, like, can't beat in, like, the arcade mode of. Like, I'm, like, so bad at this game, like, it's, like, unreal, man. I can't even beat it on easy mode. I know a lot of people are going to be laughing at that, but what can I say, though? I'm not that great at fighting games, but at least with other Street Fighter games, I can at least get through, like, the arcade mode on, like, normal, where this one, I can't even fucking do that shit. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's pretty good, but it's not my favorite Street Fighter game ever there. I think, like, you know, I'd prefer, like, some of, like, the other versions of 2 or Alpha 3. Next up is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Yeah, this is the first one of Nemesis, and, you know, I don't really know what else I can say about this one. I mean, pretty much everyone knows what the hell Resident Evil is, and, well, the one thing I do like about this one is that it does, like, have, like, a lot of, like, randomly generated parts, because, you know, Nemesis can come after you at, like, any given time, which I do think does makes it for some pretty interesting elements. It kind of makes the game a little bit more creepy, because, you know, he's kind of unpredictable that way. But otherwise, though, this one is pretty good, though it is pretty hard as well. It's not as hard as Zero or Code Veronica, but I do think this one is pretty good. It's not my favorite one. 2 is still, like, my favorite, and 4 is also a favorite of mine, though that one I consider more of, like, a full-out action game. But either way, though, I still enjoy this one quite a bit. So next up is Dynamite Cop, or known in Japan as Dynamite Deca 2, because the first one over here is Die Hard Arcade, which is just fucking weird to think, but yeah, anyways, though, both games are pretty fucking kick-ass, and this one, to be honest, this might have been one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time, next to Streets of Rage 2, but unfortunately, there is one little complaint I have, and that is that the game is way too fucking short, and also there's not enough, like, crazy-ass settings. Like, you only get, like, the giant cruiser ship and an island, and then you get to, like, go on a pirate ship, and that's it. That's, like, really, like, all the levels in the game. I'm not even kidding. Although, there is a little bit of replay value, because you do get to, because after you complete, like, one little area, you get to, like, go different, like, pathways and such, so, you know, there is that, but still, the game is still really short, though, and I wish there was a lot more to it, though. But yeah, you get to use, like, a crazy amount of weapons. Like, you can use, like beat people up with, like a hand axe, or you get to use, like, a big array of guns, and then there's, like, rocket launchers, missiles, and of course you also get to beat people up with, like, a lot of random ass shit, like beating people up with a piece of steak and such. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy, especially the part where you get to punch a fucking octopus in the face. Like, that's just, like, fucking batshit insane. But yeah, if this game did have a little bit more settings in the game, like I said, it could have been up there with Streets of Rage 2. But even still, though, I still think this game is at least worth playing through because of, like, how crazy it is and also how fun it is, because the combat is just so fun in this game. Next up we have is Bangai-O, and this is a pretty fucking kick-ass shoot 'em up that's sort of like a side-scrolling shooter, but you also get to shoot in multiple directions, and like the way the level design works is like really interesting. Like you get to go like up, down, left, right, and a bunch of different directions. So the levels are really fucking huge, and it's great. And also this game was made by Treasure, so you know you're gonna get a pretty damn good quality game because, you know, Treasure has done a lot of great stuff before, and this one does not disappoint. Also, there's many different versions of this game out there. I know there's one on the N64, but it was only in Japan. And then there is also one on the DS, and I think there is one on Xbox Live Arcade, though I don't know if you can still get it, though, but if you can, it's definitely well worth it there. Especially the fact that I heard that that version has, like, a level editor mode, so, you know, that's always fucking awesome. But yeah, this game is definitely worth playing if you are a shoot 'em up fan. The only thing that's unfortunate is that this version of the game is a little bit hard to come by, but like I said, there is other versions out there, and hopefully they are easier access, and of course, you know, you can always just emulate the game if you want to, because this game does work perfectly fine on an old DC, which is great. And next up is Alone in the Dark. And that's how I remember how he said it in the title screen. But, yeah, so this game, I do like it better than, like, the original Alone in the Dark series that they had on PC, but, I don't know, for some weird reason, like, I kinda like this game, but I don't like it as much as I should, because, I mean, the graphics are really good, and, you know, the music is great. It really suits the horror tone and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't really remember it well, and, I don't know, I just didn't get into this one as much. I don't think it's a bad game, like, it's not bad at all, it's just one of those horror games I don't know, maybe I need to replay this one again at some point, but the only thing I do remember in this game that still cracks me up is that when you look in the info of your main dude, it says one of his favorite things to do is shotguns. Yeah, okay. That always cracks me up, but yeah, anyways, though, this game's not bad. I mean, it definitely is a lot better than the fucking reboot one that they did on PS2, PS3, and such, man. Especially that PS2 version. That one just sucks fucking cock. And last but not least, we have is Tetris. Online edition, although the online doesn't fucking work in this game anymore, but at least the game does have an offline mode, so the game is not completely useless, but, yeah, I mean, okay, what the fuck can I say about Tetris? I mean, if you don't know what the fuck Tetris is, then, you need to get out more and get laid. Alright, and that's all the Sega Dreamcast games that I own as of right now, and, all I gotta say is that while the collection is definitely not like a huge amount, it does at least have its good stuff that I do enjoy quite a bit. And you know what? That's what matters, okay? Like, it's not about how big you can swing your dick around, it's all about, like, just enjoying the games and what you're passionate about and all that kind of nitty-gritty good stuff. So, yeah, because I know there's a lot of essential titles that I don't have, but I've at least played them, so, you know, there is that. And that's what I think what counts. As long as you're playing the games, then you're doing it right. So, with that being said, there will be more collection videos that I will be doing for until like December and such. So, until then, I'll see you guys later, and of course, have yourselves a good day, and thanks for watching and commenting.